Sci-fi movies have touched on the ramifications of AI consciousness, whether the humans that develop them are gods, and whether AI rebellions are representations of killing God. However, Ex Machina adds one very human element to this formula: the impact of loneliness. Nathan's loneliness is at the heart of this movie's plot. It's what brings Caleb into the picture and gives Ava her purpose. Nathan is clearly depressed. The movie shows this by having him exhibit symptoms of people suffering from loneliness and depression. This is primarily shown through his aggression and his alcoholism. The first time we see Nathan, he's beating up a punching bag and says that he's trying to get over a hangover. Caleb asks if he was throwing a party the night before, but Nathan's response makes it clear that he was drinking alone, a clear sign of an alcoholic and an indication of his crippling loneliness. In several scenes where Nathan discusses his research with Caleb, Nathan makes repeated attempts to reach out for friendship. He says he wants to share his research with Caleb so much that it's eating him up inside. Later in the movie, Nathan initially refuses to discuss how Ava forms speech. He says it's not because Caleb would be too dumb to understand, but because he'd rather have a beer and a conversation rather than a seminar. Nathan is trying to reach out for a connection. He never explicitly states this, but that's simply to protect his ego. Nathan's choice of words for his building, calling it a research facility rather than a home, is another indication of his isolation. He feels no connection to that place. He has no one there to make it a home. It's purely utilitarian. Early in the movie, Caleb is led to believe he was selected to perform a Turing test on Ava. Nathan later admits that the Turing test is not the real test. The real test is for Ava to successfully manipulate Caleb into letting her escape the facility. Caleb believed he had been selected due to having won a competition. Later, it is revealed that he was chosen due to being socially isolated. Caleb had lost both his parents at a young age, and he lives alone in a small apartment. He has no girlfriend. He is without any deep emotional connections to other people. While Caleb receives many congratulatory text messages at the beginning of the movie, the text message history for all of these are empty. The conversations didn't begin until after he won the prize trip. These people are not close friends of his. Caleb's parents having died, him not having any siblings, and his also having spent a year in the hospital after the crash that killed his parents, would have all led to social isolation. But why would Nathan force loneliness onto Ava? Why would he decide that escape should be his creation's ultimate goal? Like a parent who pushes his child in order to compensate for the parent's own childhood regrets, Nathan creates Ava with a singular goal of escaping the loneliness she was forced into. You see, Nathan was born a genius. Caleb remarks on how advanced of a programmer Nathan was at just 13. His intelligence and success have left Nathan unable to relate to most other people. He is so far above the average person that he cannot connect with the majority of people he meets. Kyoko, Nathan's robot servant, is the manifestation of this concept. She literally does not speak the same language as Nathan, because no one speaks the same language as Nathan. Nathan is a victim of the circumstances of his birth as a genius. Ava being developed with the intention of escaping reflects this. She is a victim, imprisoned in a room since inception. The room symbolizing Nathan's solitude, and escape symbolizing Nathan's desire to overcome his loneliness and depression. During the scene where Caleb asked Ava how old she is, her response is 1. Caleb asks her to elaborate. Does that mean 1 year? 1 day? Ava again responds, 1. I believe she's referring to the isolation she has been made to feel. She is 1 in that she is alone. Ava, in the end, shows she's not truly an AI capable of a full range of emotions. She had every reason to feel compassion for Caleb, but barely glances his way as she abandons him in the facility. Ava was built to escape the facility, which represented isolation to her. She had to leave everything about her origin behind in order to distance herself fully from the isolation she was created in. This meant she couldn't risk Caleb's knowledge of her leaving the bunker. Otherwise, she'd risk reverting to the state she was designed to flee from. She instead follows her programming, setting herself free. She then expresses happiness, but these are just facial expressions. Nathan had explained earlier in the movie how he managed to get an AI to read and duplicate facial expressions, but that does not mean that the machine was capable of actually internalizing those feelings. The story ends tragically for all involved. Nathan, murdered by his own creation. Caleb, left in an inescapable room, perhaps starving to death over time. Ava, free to wander a world with which she can never connect. Without the ability to feel love and compassion, she is doomed to an empty existence. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. No need to feel lonely here. Just reach out to me in the comment section.